when I heard Professor Kiraka talk about mentorship, very close to my heart, because working with young people, that is what they need. When driving innovation, we look at, we try to understand where they're coming from and their background. And I'm talking in terms of the young people that we work with. When I think about the young women, especially that we work with in the grassroots, it's interesting how they've been able to leverage on technology to drive innovation. And I don't know how many of us have a TikTok page. How many of us are on TikTok? Why are you laughing? I just joined like 2 months ago. I don't think I've even posted anything on TikTok. But working with young people, and I've seen how they've been able to leverage on technology to use the digital platforms to be able to drive their businesses, to drive their brands, and to actually communicate with their fans. They build a fan base and then create a client base at the same time when they're using these platforms on some platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So I have actually learned from them myself. Coming from the banking industry, it is a very critical and I can say very interesting industry to work in. That jump and coming into the SME sector, myself now being the SME that I was serving when I was in the banking industry, you get to experience different challenges and you have to ask yourself, so how do I innovate? We are talking as well about social impact, and I want to give an example of a lady that I have truly followed on social media. And the reason I asked why, if some of you are on TikTok, is because there's one lady called Angie on Boards. I don't know whether you've heard about Angie on Boards. I don't know, Michael, how many has heard about Angie on Bonds? Right? Aren't you fascinated by how she's been able to leverage technology to actually train women on bonds? She's been able to build a very strong fan base as well as a client base. Myself learning from Angie and how she's been able to utilize this and how she started her enterprise and her consultancy firm. She's a treasury bond consultant and advisor as well. But she started as a vendor on TikTok and on Instagram. She used to sell clothes, but she is a financial analyst. And she asked herself, how can I be able now to get into my passion of training women, especially on bonds? And she has been able to do that very well. And she started by training, and by training women on bonds, she's been able now to set up her own consultancy firm, and she started doing it for free. So when we talk about innovation, I cannot point it to leveraging on technology.